Hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Great Maine Bird Quest. It is day 39 right now, and I am up to 80 species. And if you remember the end of episode 2, I was only in the 40s, so clearly it's been a very productive 2 weeks, which makes me very happy. So at the beginning of last week, I took a trip down to southern Maine to get some of those southern species that don't come up to where I live. And I ended up getting 16 species. It was a nice mix of ones that I have up here, like American robins and tufted titmice. But also I got some like the glossy ibis and the great egret. So I was pretty excited to catch some of those because, like I said, they don't really come up here, so it's a little tricky to get them. But yeah, that was a very productive trip, but unfortunately, I don't really like filming in front of people, and southern Maine has a lot more people, and the places I went were a little more crowded. So I don't really have any video clips, but I'll put a lot of the highlights of the pictures up now. So check them out. I think the bird I'm most excited about from that trip is the piping plover. And that's because we definitely don't get them up here because they like to nest on sandy beaches. And I live in the part of Maine where it's pretty much all rocky coastline. So I was really excited to find a few of those guys running across the beach. And the thing I like about them is if you sit still, they just kind of do their thing and go around hunting and trying to catch food, and some of them even just run right by you. And piping plovers are a threatened or endangered species in all of the states they live in. And they've suffered a pretty big population decline because, like I said, they live on beaches, which means their nests very often get disturbed by human activities. So there's been a lot of restoration efforts where like the Fish and Wildlife Service or Audubon Society close down beaches they're nesting on, or monitor the nests and put fences around them to exclude predators and things like that. And in some areas it's actually helping out, and their populations are increasing. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's really fun to come across them because they're really tiny. They look like tiny little ping pong balls running across the beach. And it's just really fun to watch them do their thing. So yeah, I think that was my favorite sighting from that trip. So after that trip, I decided to stick around home a little bit and explore some of my more local birding spots with varying degrees of success, unfortunately. So let's take a look at some of my local experiences. Well, welcome to day 30 of the Bird Quest. I've come back to that wildlife refuge I visited a couple weeks ago. I'm taking another cruise through. It's been a pretty slow day so far. I haven't really seen anything new, except I did get a bonus bird. So in a pool back by the bog, I saw a mallard duck, black duck hybrid. And it was pretty neat to see. It was a male, so it had some of the characteristics of both the mallard and the black duck. It looked mostly like a black duck with the dark brown mottling and everything, but it also had half of the green head stripe from the mallard, and then a little bit of the tail coloration as well. So it was pretty neat to see. And they're a natural hybrid, so it's not like it was something that escaped from a farm or something like that, because both of those ducks are closely related and they both live here in Maine. So every once in a while they interbreed, and I finally got to see the result of that. Cool. Hello everyone, and welcome to day 34 of the Great Maine Bird Quest. Can't believe it's already been a month of looking for birds. I'm up to 64 species already, so doing pretty well so far. Hopefully this trend continues. This morning I got a few of the backyard birds that I've been neglecting. I got a dark-eyed junco, I got a white-breasted nuthatch, and then a northern flicker decided to show up in the top of one of my trees and do some calling. So that was pretty cool. Just mostly got record shots of those. The junco was a pretty decent shot, but obviously there's still plenty of room for improvement. Today I'm taking a little walk through the woods to check out a little wetland and see if I can pick up a few wetland birds. I know I've heard some ruffed grouse here, so hopefully one of those will cross my path, and we'll see what we can find at the wetland. Well, somewhere right behind me in the woods is a ruffed grouse. I heard it drumming, and I got a very brief glimpse of it through the trees. So we're gonna slowly and quietly sneak up and see if we can get a shot of it actually drumming, because that would be awesome. Well, I'm gonna have to admit defeat on this one. I've been here for about 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and the grouse was on this set of rocks, but it's surrounded by some super thick trees that I just can't see through. I tried walking around, but it's just too thick, so I'm gonna call it. The grouse hasn't even been drumming in a little while, but it was pretty cool. I definitely was close enough because I could actually hear his feathers rustling as he was doing his really cool drum display. And if you don't know much about ruffed grouse, as their mating display, they beat their wings against their chest and create what's called a drumming display. And it creates this really low thumping sound that really echoes throughout the whole forest, so it's pretty cool to hear. I got some audio recordings, so I will play those. I'll pop the picture I got up, but it's really, really terrible. I'm not even sure if I'm going to count it as a sighting because it's just so bad. But that's what happens with these forest birds sometimes, and that's just part of the quest. But anyways, we're going to keep going and see if anything else is a little more cooperative. It wasn't a super productive day. I don't think I got really any shots I'm really happy with, but that's what happens in bird photography sometimes. I feel like I've been kind of spoiled with all these days down at the coast where at the very least I at least get some far off pictures. But today was just a challenging day in a spot that I was checking out for the first time and is a really cool spot. Just need to work it till I find some good birds. But at least the view is nice to end the day, so I can't complain about that. Today has been much more productive than yesterday was. As soon as I got out of my car, I happened to be in the perfect area for a mixed flock of warblers to come through. So I got my first warblers of the year, which is really exciting and makes me very happy because the warblers are the family I was really looking forward to photographing because they're all really pretty, they all have really nice songs, and a lot of them I don't really have good pictures of, so it was kind of one of the challenges I've been looking forward to this year. But I got a yellow-rumped warbler, a palm warbler, and then a ruby-crowned kinglet. All three of those I didn't have yet, and it was really nice to see them all again for the first time this year. And then also in a wetland nearby, or a pond nearby, I also got another good look at a green-winged teal. So not a bad way to start the day. So now I've just been walking around and seeing what else I can find. So far it's been mostly things I've seen before. I did also pick up a great blue heron. It was pretty far away, so I didn't get great pictures of it, but it's a beautiful warm spring day, so it's been really nice just wandering around and seeing what I can find. It's not a bird, but I did get a pretty cool picture of a porcupine. And yeah, it's generally just been a really nice wander through the woods. So let's keep wandering and see if anything else cool pops up. Kingfisher. Too far away. I've definitely experienced some of the highs and lows of bird photography in the past couple days, because getting out of my car today and being surrounded by a mixed flock of warblers that was awesome. But then yesterday it was just so frustrating being so close to that grouse that I could hear its feathers, but just wasn't able to get a clear shot because there were trees and rocks in the way. So, really can't complain though. It's still really awesome to be out and experiencing all of this, especially on a beautiful spring day like today. Which brings us to today. This morning, I woke up to some fresh snow because apparently winter isn't done yet here, even though it was 60 degrees yesterday. And I got the storm that came through, I think, pushed a bunch of migrating birds up, and I had my first white-throated sparrows and hermit thrushes in my yard. So I got some pictures of those this morning with some snow behind them, which is kind of neat. So I took a trip down to the coast to see if that storm that rolled through last night brought any ocean-going birds closer to shore to hang out and weather the storm. I did see and get one picture of a razorbill, which is pretty cool, and I got some really good pictures and videos of some harlequin ducks, and those ducks are crazy. They like to hang out right where the waves are crashing into the rocks and dive for food there. So I was watching them for maybe 45 minutes or an hour, just diving back and forth, diving through the waves, and being just generally very close to shore. So that was really cool. Anyways, that is it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If this entertained you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you aren't already to make the YouTube algorithm gods happy. Check me out on Instagram, and you can check out my website for the full gallery of images. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.